Gun bunch offset is an incredibly powerful pass-heavy formation that can be found in all of the playbooks shown here. For this scheme, I highly recommend flipping your formation so that your bunch receivers are always lined up on the wide side of the field, which will allow us to take advantage of route combos that make full use of the extra space we have on the wide side. While your audibles are completely up to you, I recommend having the plays read option, double post, Verts HB Under, and Z-spot in your audibles menu. In this ebook, we'll go over how to attack every spot on the field and cover a wide range of route combos that'll have you slinging the ball up and down the field like a Madden pro. The abilities you put on the field can have a massive impact on the success of a scheme. Obviously, if you play MUT, then your available AP will increase throughout the year, so the abilities here are listed in order of most important to least important. The most important position on the field is the quarterback, and I strongly recommend using a QB with a passing velocity ability like set feet lead or pass lead elite, while some luxury abilities would be Hot Route Master, Fearless, and Gunslinger. At wide receiver and tight end, I strongly recommend using either Short in Elite or Route Technician on as many players as possible, and a luxury ability would be Short Out Elite. On the offensive line, if possible, I strongly recommend using Edge Protector or Secure Protector on your tackles, and luxury abilities would be using Secure Protector on the rest of your offensive line, as well as Threat Detector, Identifier, or Post Up. I don't use any abilities on my running back, but Backfield Master is great if you have the extra AP. Here are my key points to know when running gun bunch offset. Make sure you have your formation flipped so that your bunch receivers are lined up on the wide side of the field, which gives us the best possible spacing for the different route combos we want to build. When running the ball, make sure you don't hold the sprint button until after you cross the line of scrimmage, and this applies on both handoffs to the running back as well as keeping it with your quarterback on the play read option. Make sure you take advantage of the quick throw to the tight end wheel in the play double post. It's an easy read and can get open for quick, reliable yards against both man and zone coverage. And finally, when throwing to post and crossers against man coverage, make sure that you use freeform passing to pass lead the ball up and away from the defender. I use near and 7 out of 20 for my freeform settings, and freeforming these throws can make all the difference between a ball that gets intercepted and a ball that goes for a huge gain. Here are my blocking tips and recommendations for gun bunch offset. One of the things that makes gun bunch offset unique is that you can block your tight end, which is an advantage over the gun bunch formation where you can't block your tight end. Most of the time, picking up a blitz will be as simple as keeping an extra blocker in, so blocking either your running back or tight end. Remember that you can use the Max Protect feature to block both your running back and tight end at the same time, and keeping 7 blockers in is the best way to pick up heavy overload blitzes, such as in the 4-3 even 6-1 formation. Against blitzes that utilize a blitzing slot cornerback like $3-2, blocking your running back and IDing one of the slot cornerbacks as the mic should pick it up pretty well. And against a loop blitz, double teaming one of the defensive ends should help your blockers pick up the loop and give you a couple seconds in the pocket. This is the most effective shotgun run play in all of Madden. The play is read option, and before the snap, we always want to identify the read key, which is the defender with the R icon above his head. Just like with any read option, if the read key crashes in, then don't press anything, which will cause your quarterback to keep the ball and take off into the open space. If the read key doesn't crash in, then hold A on Xbox or X on PlayStation to hand the ball off to your running back and look for a running lane. Now, just like with any run play, it's important that you don't hold the sprint button until you've already identified your running lane, and this will make a major difference in helping the blocks develop. While sometimes you'll have space to run in the direction of the initial handoff, oftentimes you'll want to cut this run back and use the pulling tight end as a lead blocker, which can result in some massive gains. Once you get comfortable reading the read key and identifying a running lane, read option is guaranteed to make you a huge threat to move the ball on the ground. This is an extremely easy way to attack zone coverage on every part of the field. The play is double post, and the adjustments are to put the solo receiver on a streak and put the middle bunch receiver on a drag. After the snap, the initial read is the tight end in the flat, which you should hit every time if your opponent leaves it open. The next read is the drag, and make sure you pass lead the ball outside so that your receiver can keep his momentum and quickly get upfield after the catch. The third read is the post over the middle, and in some cases, you'll want to make sure you click onto the receiver, bring him back towards the ball, and aggressive catch it to make sure the safety doesn't have a chance to make a play. And finally, if your opponent is playing cover 2 and all of those options are covered, then you can come back to the tight end wheel route, which should be wide open along the sideline. Use this setup to absolutely destroy your opponent's man coverage. The play is double post, and the adjustments are to block the running back, put the solo receiver on a streak, put the middle bunch receiver on a drag, and then motion him across the formation before snapping the ball. The first read is the solo receiver on the streak, because if your opponent is pressing the receivers, the streak will instantly win and leave the cornerback in the dust. The second read is the receiver on the motion drag over the middle, who will almost always get separation if he doesn't get bumped on his route. The third read is the deep post, which is one of the best man-beating routes in the entire game. As long as you let the receiver get through his break, he should get a ton of separation, and you can pass lead him outside and over the top to hit him in stride and take it all the way for a touchdown. This is an awesome setup for attacking both man and zone coverage. The play is double post, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a streak, put your middle bunch receiver on a drag, block your tight end, and motion over your outside bunch receiver so that his post route turns into a corner route. After the snap, the first two reads are on the middle bunch receiver on the drag and the running back on the out route. Both of these are man-beating routes, so if your opponent is in man coverage, then just pass lead the ball outside to allow your receiver or running back to keep his momentum and turn it upfield after the catch. Against zone coverage, the streak, corner, and drag create a flood concept on the short side of the field, and all you have to do is read the high-low of the drag and corner route and hit whichever one the defense doesn't guard. And against man coverage, you can also hit the post that we turned into a corner route with a free-form pass to the outside for a huge completion along the sideline. This setup absolutely destroys man blitzes. The play is double post, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a comeback route, max protect to block both your running back and tight end, put your middle bunch receiver on a drag, and then motion him across the formation. This puts 3 man-beating routes on the field while allowing us to block 7, and after the snap, the first read is the drag over the middle, and if he gets separation, then just pass lead the ball outside so he can keep his momentum and turn it upfield. The next read is your receiver on the post over the middle, and as long as you freeform the pass up and outside, then you can hit him for massive gains over the top. And the final read is the comeback route on the outside, and as long as you get used to timing this throw properly, then the comeback will win every time for reliable yards against tight man coverage. This play destroys both man and zone coverage. The play is speed dig, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a streak, put your running back on a swing route, and put your tight end on a flat. After the snap, you first want to read the tight end in the flat and hit him every time if your opponent leaves it open. The next read is the crosser coming over the middle from the middle bunch receiver. Against man coverage, it will almost always get decent separation, and against zone coverage, it'll get wide open along the sideline as the streak and swing routes help pull the zones apart. If your opponent uses the crosser, then the next read is the deep dig route. Against man coverage, the dig route gets amazing separation, and against zone coverage, you just have to wait for him to get into open space and then hit him with a strike over the middle. This is one of the easiest ways to attack zone coverage along the sideline. The play is Z-spot, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on an in route, block your running back, put the outside bunch receiver on a streak, and then motion him outside. After the snap, first read the high-low of the corner route and flat route on the wide side of the field. If the tight end flat route is left open, then go ahead and take the easy yards every time, and if it's guarded, then just hit the corner route once he gets into open space. And if your opponent uses one of those routes to take away the high-low, then go ahead and hit the in route coming over the middle. You also have the option to smart route the in route if you want him to make his break a little further downfield, and if you feel like you have enough time in the pocket, then you can leave the running back on his original route to have a check down option to the other flat. This play absolutely destroys man coverage. The play is smash return, and the only adjustments are to block your running back, put your tight end on a streak, and put your middle bunch receiver on a drag. After the snap, our first read is the middle bunch receiver on the drag, who will get separation as he forces his defender to run through a ton of traffic trying to keep up with him. The next read is the inside zig from the outside bunch receiver, which is one of the most reliable man-beating routes in the game. As long as you wait for your receiver to cut back inside, then he'll get a ton of separation from the defender, and you can hit him for a solid gain over the middle. The final read is the deep in route, and while he won't get a ton of separation every time, he only needs a step or two, and then you can pass lead him away from the defender for an easy completion. This is one of the best zone beating concepts in all of Madden. The play is Verts HB Under, and you can run this play completely stock. After the snap, if your opponent isn't guarding the flat, then go ahead and sling it to your outside receiver on the wheel for some easy yards on the outside. The next read is the tight end on the wheel route, and this is one of the toughest routes in the game for AI zone defenders to guard, meaning if your opponent doesn't user it, then it can get open almost every time. The third read is the middle bunch receiver on the crosser, which you can throw early over the middle or wait and let him cross the field to the opposite sideline, which will be wide open because of the solo receiver clearing out space on the streak. If all of those options are guarded, then you can always check down to the running back for some easy, reliable yards, and if your opponent is playing cover 2, then you can come back to the outside wheel route and hit him for a monster gain down the sideline. This is an incredibly easy route combo for getting easy yards against zone coverage. The play is dig return, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a streak, put your running back on a swing route, and put your middle bunch receiver on a slant. The first route we want to read is the tight end on the flat route, and if your opponent leaves it open, then go ahead and take the easy yards every time. The next read is the slant coming over the middle, which can get open anywhere along the route as the streak and swing route pull the zone defenders away from the middle of the field. The third read is the outside bunch receiver on the zig, which is an extremely tough route for AI zone defenders to guard since the route always seems to find a pocket of open space. And if your opponent surprises you with man coverage, then the two routes to focus on are the slant and the zig route, both of which have a chance of beating their man and getting into open space. This is the easiest play in Madden for getting short, reliable yards against zone coverage. The play is spacing, and you can run it completely stock. After the snap, the first read is the running back going to the flat, which you want to hit every time if your opponent leaves it open. Then the read progression moves from left to right, looking at the slant, then the hitch over the middle, then the hitch on the right side. What you'll usually see from zone defenders on the right side is for them to initially guard the right side hitch route and then run outside to guard the tight end as he runs his route to the flat. Once they do this, it'll leave the right side hitch wide open for the easiest completion of your life. Now, if your opponent surprises you with man coverage, then you'll want to first look at hitting the slant after he makes his cut, and if the user takes that away, look to hit the right side hitch. It won't get a ton of separation, but there will be a small window where you can hit the hitch right as the receiver turns around and boxes out his defender. This is the best cover 3 bomb in Madden 24. The play is PA read, and the only requirements are to make sure you're on a hash with your bunch receivers on the wide side of the field, and then put your middle bunch receiver on a streak. After the snap, the comeback route from the solo receiver will hold down the outside third, allowing your receiver on the post route to get wide open for the easy touchdown. Now, because this bomb takes a while to develop, I do also recommend blocking your running back for extra time in the pocket, as well as putting your tight end on a curl route so that you can have a check down in case your opponent uses the deep post. Remember that dropping back too far in the pocket will cause the defensive linemen to shed their blocks quicker, so be ready to stand tall and step up in the pocket as needed, and if you can do that, then you'll be consistently launching bombs with the easiest one-play touchdown in the game. You can use this simple setup to beat your opponent's match coverage or zone coverage every time. The play is double post, and the adjustments are to put the solo receiver on a streak, put the middle bunch receiver on a drag, and motion over the running back to the other side of the quarterback and put him on a wheel route. By motioning over the running back, this setup will actually turn off your opponent's match coverage because it puts 4 receiving threats on the same side of the quarterback. Match coverage uses a numbering system that labels the receiving threats on each side as 1, 2, or 3, but any setup that has 4 receiving threats on one side will result in it not being possible to apply match coverage rules, causing the defenders to play drop zones instead. That means anytime you have a formation that starts with 3 receiving threats on the same side, simply motioning over your running back will make your opponent's match coverage completely ineffective. This setup is amazing at beating both man and zone coverage. The play is speed dig, and the adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a streak, put your tight end on a drag, block your running back, put your outside bunch receiver on a drag, and then motion him over. After the snap, the first 2 reads are on both of the drags crossing over the middle. Drags are excellent against man coverage, so just passing the ball outside to allow your receiver to keep his momentum and turn it upfield after the catch. The next read is the middle bunch receiver on the crosser, and against man coverage, you can freeform this ball up and away from the defender for an easy completion. And against zone coverage, the streak will clear out space, and you just have to read the high-low of the crosser and drag flowing to the short side of the field and hit whichever one the defense doesn't guard.